beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Getting Older Podcast. It's a podcast where it's about mental health, the child tribulation, and trauma, but also the art of healing. I'm Ivory, I'm your host, and before we dive into today's episode, I want to do a quick shout out to Nefertia Brown from Heart Rehab Podcast. Yes, so a couple weeks ago, I had my first podcast guest debut on Heart Rehab. Take a look.
I have Ivory Fennell here today.
Woo, woo.
I am super excited about this. The most important thing about that is dealing with it. So I just want to say thank you for allowing me to come onto your podcast and really look those demons in the eye and admit that, yeah, you might be trying to sweep things under the rug, baby, but it ain't going nowhere until you confront these issues. So I thank you, Ivory.
The whole point of the podcast was I wanted to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Not to say like I don't want to put everything out there,
right?
But I felt like there are people that can relate to me in certain situations.
Exactly.
And I also wanted to also get rid of like the art of judgment. Because I kept feeling to myself like, people are going to judge me, people are going to do this and that. So I remember on that episode, you're speaking your truth. And then when you're speaking your truth, it made me compelled at that moment to reveal my truth. When I was 4, I remember there's a family member who had a friend. And I vividly remember this. I remember someone said, and I didn't even know what the words mean, but I always remember this word. They said, oh, like he's a faggot. I kind of isolated myself from family. I kind of isolated myself from a lot of different people. I felt like I had to conform myself a little bit. So I kind of had to become a little bit more straighter. I kind of had to become more masculine. And I feel like it's sometimes hard for me to kind of let that guard down even to this day.
We have to remember that we are not here to satisfy the thoughts of others.
At all.
That's
why, again, I love having people who feel like I'm the worst person. I feel like this. No, you're not.
Yeah.
We just dealt with some bad cards in life. At the end of the day, like you choose that. You could still sulk. You could still be upset about something that happened 20 years ago or anything, you know? But you choosing not to. And that's why I say, like, for me, like, I'm proud of you because you're able to put yourself out there. Again, not a lot of people do this.
Right.
A lot of people could sit here and they could judge us. They could say, oh, she's this, she's that.
Right.
Whatever. Who cares?
Whatever. Who cares?
This is my journey. This is my testimony in my life. And this is what I choose to do.
Absolutely.
Know? First of all, I want to say again, thank you, Nefertia, for having me on your podcast. I want to say I'm so happy with how it came out. I love the conversations that we had. I feel like it's so weird, though, as a podcast host. It's hard to kind of like tell, like be myself in a sense or really tell my truth. Even though on this podcast, I do that. But for someone to ask me those questions, especially not knowing what's going to happen, going in blind and, just to see how it came out and like, like the reciprocation and the people that's, like loving it that we have, I would just want to say thank you, okay? So please stream Heart Rehab, okay, guys? Now, and my second thing I want to say, congratulations to the Breeders! Yes. So I've had Leslie and Steven on the podcast before, but on April 24th, they celebrated their wedding. And I have to say it was such an amazing time. Obviously, I'm wearing the jersey we got for the groomsmen. You know what I'm saying? Had to rock that today. But I want to say as they were on their Italy adventure, I want to say, guys, thank you guys again so much. I appreciate you guys for including me. It's an honor to see the love that you guys have built for the last 12 years. And I'm so excited to see what lifetime you guys have going for you guys. All right. I'm ready to hop into this episode because I have an amazing guest today, guys. Let's go. On today's episode of Getting Older, we're joined by Jessica Leonard, better known as Phoenix, an actress, movement artist, model, and creative director. You better get it to me now. She also works as a production coordinator for the media team for the city of Linden, New Jersey. Phoenix is currently a dancer in the 1010 showcase created by Robbie, while also developing a new project with a credible team. After a busy season filled with creative work and collaborations, she's now embracing a period of learning, growth, and incubation. Today, we dive into her creative journey, evolving identity, and what it means to grow through every chapter of your life. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you guys to Phoenix! Snap, 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 snap. Give it to me, yeah.
Yes.
Hey, what's up?
I'm great. How are you? That was a great introduction.
Oh, you like that? Yeah. You know
yes,
what I'm saying?
Thank you. I like the little things that you added at the end because I'm like, we're really about to get into it today.
No, we are. But listen, first I want to say is that, how long have I known you actually for?
We've known each other since middle school. So that's like 20 years.
I know, girl. That's a long ass time.
It's a long time.
Let me tell you. But it's so interesting, though, because I feel like we caught up last year.
Yeah.
So we ran into each other at Ash's birthday party that she had. And mind you, like, that was something where I just had Ash from the podcast. And, like, I love her energy. I love her vibe. And again,
amazing.
no, she's an amazing. Shout out to Ash, honestly. Shout out to you, girl. But like, I just really like, I loved our conversations and stuff like that. But for her to kind of bring me into like her world of people, for me, like, I never understood, like, it made me kind of, honestly, like, I'll say it made me remind me of LA at that time, of the people who are there, who are open-minded, free-spirited.
Got you.
And I missed that so much. And then literally you said, Ivory. And I was like, I know that face. And then I was like, Jessica. Oh, no, it's Phoenix. Oh, shit. Sorry. See, so that's how you're really like, it's been a long time. So I just wanted to say, like, just to like see you at that moment and talk to you. And then you know how people say all the time, like, you know, like, here's my number. We'll talk, whatever not. And then I can do this. And I've done this a lot. And I'm pretty sure we've all done this. But it's like.
All the time.
But like, sometimes I don't.
Follow through. The word is follow through.
Right,
hello, because I don't do it sometimes too.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's hard for me sometimes to follow through at that time. But with you, I remember it was like, I think a few months later, I hit you up and say, hey, let's go to the cafe.
Yep.
And I feel like we had a great conversation at the cafe.
It was hours that we were
Yeah, we was talking for hours. Yeah. And I felt like because I was so like engaged with you and your story. And just like, it was like one of those, like, it's like, where have you been? Like, what's up with you? Because obviously we can't do it at a birthday party and stuff like that. No. But at that moment, I was just so like locked into you. And I remember just saying like, damn, like you really are such a beautiful light in everything that you do. And then I saw you at the Plainfield Film Festival for a little bit. To see you in your creative bag, which we're going to get into, and just you as a person. But listen, enough about this. Let me just get right into it. Phoenix, how are you doing?
I'm really good. I'm happy to be here. You know, it's a Saturday and yet we are fully booked for the entire day. Although I will say that half of the day will be spent with someone who is very close to me, who I get to see maybe like once a month, once every other month. She lives out in a trailer with her husband in Pennsylvania. So yeah, this weekend is going to be very much friend time, relaxation, while at the same time celebrating life, because that's one of the things that I choose to do when it comes to my creativity in itself.
So explain to me, like, so let's really like take it back then. Can you tell me like where are you from and how did you become?
How did I become? That's the way to phrase it. Okay. I feel like we're gonna be laughing this whole time.
It's fine, but it's fine.
So I am from Plainfield, New Jersey, Queen City. Shout out. I was literally born and raised there. I think I moved out when I was like 26, but I spent most of my life there. I was born at Marylandburg Hospital, which is now apartments. It's an apartment complex now, which honestly, I feel like it's kind of better that way. You know, some hospitals are good and some, yeah.
That part.
But yeah, I grew up in Plainfield. I went to Queen City Academy Charter School, was part of the first class of kindergartners, and then also the first class to graduate, like go through the whole thing. So from kindergarten to 8th grade. Got into art there, essentially. Like, they had, because it was a charter school, dance class and music classes were like deeply immersed in the curriculum. And then they also had plays every season. A lot of different schools do that and whatnot, but I feel like at Queen City, it was just like a different kind of culture. And then also just growing up, both of my parents are artists through and through, whether it's painting, music. We had a piano in the house, guitar, rain stick, djembe, drum set, like everything that you could possibly think of music wise, we had in the house. My parents would sing all the time with church and whatnot. So like I grew up immersed in the arts. And that's definitely what built the foundation for today, because expression and creativity was something that was very important to my parents, not only as people themselves, but that we express ourselves. I'm going to say every family has its, you know, wonkiness, has its, I guess you could say like its faults, you know? So there were times where it's like, you want us to express ourselves, but when we express in a certain way, it's not okay. But they're growing and they're older and all of their kids are kids of color and they're lesbians and this is a completely new generation and they're going through something new and discovering themselves as well. So like as an adult coming to understand that you unlearn the things that you we're either ashamed of or resentful towards them for, because I've come to realize I'll have conversations with my parents and learn about their childhood, and it's like, that's where that came from.
Because we have to remember they're also human too.
That part.
And I think that's like as we get older and then we do have those conversations with our parents. Like I've learned to know who my parents are because I am my parents. I am. I have parts of my dad in me, I have parts of my mom in me, you know? So I feel like when you really get to take the layer off, you're like, damn, like you're doing your best. Because again, as kids, we're like, you know, and then like I said, I work with kids. So it's like they don't realize like what their parents do. They just think like, oh, mommy, daddy takes care of me and A, B, and C. But no, like these people are people too, and they're figuring it out just like us. And that's the grace that we do have to give our parents at times. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, especially when you're young, it's not always easy because you're going through your own shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can I curse?
Hell yeah.
Okay, cool. So hello.
It's me.
Yeah, because we don't always realize, we tend to not realize what they're going through at that time because we're going through our own stuff and dealing with our own things. And sometimes things get put on us from them, or we give ourselves jobs in a way. And that's one thing that I did. Like I was my parents' protector, period. I was the only girl sibling. Like I have a cousin who's a girl, but like emotion wise and like making sure my parents didn't overextend themselves, didn't, you know, do too much and whatnot. Yeah. And most other women, I think, can really relate to that because we tend to take on things subconsciously because it's just a natural part of ourselves. We want to care for people. Everyone does.
Yeah.
But there's something about caring for your parents when you know that they're the age of your friend's grandparents. You don't know when death is coming.
No.
You don't know who the next person who is coming into the house. You don't know how long, like, shoot, my mom's falling downstairs, broken bones, like all of that. You don't know what the next thing that is going to come and what your role is going to have to be when that comes into it. And so you have to not only be ready and be prepared for that, but allow yourself to experience the internal bullshit and figure out how to release it while going through that. And sometimes you don't always have someone to go to because of your age.
Let's dive deeper in that. So I want to know a little bit more about your family life. I want to understand the dynamics of, like, you have two moms, of course.
Yeah.
So I want to understand, like, break down to me, what was life actually growing up in your house?
Chaos. like a beautiful chaos. That's a phrase.
And how many siblings do you have?
Are we talking legally? Are we talking growing up? Or are we talking about throughout, like, people I consider my siblings because it's like throughout the entire lifetime?
I would probably say the entire lifetime right now because I want to start from the beginning. And because I feel like as a kid, like you said, like your moms took people in, right? Can you explain that part? So
my parents were, yes, they were foster parents. So we took kids in sometimes to, you know, give them a home if they needed it and whatnot for a temporary period of time. And my older brother's adopted. I'm adopted. My little brother technically isn't adopted, but we've had him since he was 11 months old. Yeah. So, and he just turned, I'm 31, so he just turned 28.
Wow.
Yeah.
Getting up there in age.
Look, we're still young. This is not even the halfway point.
No, it's not.
So it's like,
we just hit a quarter.
That part, especially when you're healthy. Yeah, but I've had, like, my younger brother Marlon, who's like 6 months younger than me. He started living with us when he was we were in middle school because he also went to Queen City. So met him in like 6th or 7th grade, lived down the block. Then stuff with his family started happening and he asked to live with us. And that was that. So he became my brother. And then my older brother's friend, his mom died. And before that, things were a little bit rocky. He asked to come live with us. And so we don't really speak that much, but that doesn't mean I don't consider a person family. So, yeah. So that's what, One, two, three. That's 4. Yeah. And then there was we've had a couple foster kids, but there was a little girl. When I was in middle school, very young, there was a little girl who we fostered. She was our last foster baby, like through the system and not just friends coming in. And her name was Cassie. And she was with us for maybe like a year, maybe a little bit more, but that was my baby. That was my little sister. And even though it was such a short period of time, she was the only other girl. She actually kind of looked like me. She like was brilliant and happy and ate everything. And she was really wonderfully creative, and she was a toddler, so like she couldn't speak, but like she was so expressive. And she came to us through the foster care system, and when we were about to adopt her, there's a process that you have to go through where they have to reach out to all of the family and all the any extended relatives to see if they're willing to take the child. And right when we were going to adopt her, her father and grandmother said that they wanted her back. And that's one, because it happened during a difficult time in my family anyway, which doesn't really need to be mentioned. But it was another significant loss because we were ready to adopt her. And that's something that I don't think gets talked about enough, the impact of, and this is not to say that she like isn't doing well with the family.
Mm-hmm.
I know and trust that she is living a phenomenal life. It's just the fact that, and I'm happy that she's with them. It just hurts because of the fact that I was a child and I lost my only sister. So it felt like I had to grieve that, but I didn't know how to grieve it because I know that she didn't die. So how do you get through something like that? And then at the same time support your parents, because they don't understand. And I spoke to my parents about this. They didn't think about the impact of that happening until, what was it? Lilo and Stitch, the live action movie.
I have not seen that yet.
Okay. Can I give a brief spoiler?
Go,
okay.
girl, go ahead.
So there's a part in the movie where Lilo gets taken by Dyfus.
Yes.
And gets taken away from Nani. At that moment, my parents were in the movies and they were crying. And after they got out of the movie, they called me and they were like, we didn't even think about how that would affect you, how it would affect your brothers throughout all of that time. And this happened when I was, maybe like 10?
So young.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. And, like deep. But no. It's serious because I feel like I think the first time I've understood about, I guess, adoption and foster care, I would say through Annie, the movie.
Yeah.
Right. And, when you see these little girls, they want to be adopted, right? They want a family, right?
Yeah.
But also I realized, like, even though you have your family, you got your moms are taking people in, it's kind of hard sometimes to realize you built a bond with somebody. And then eventually they have to go, And that's a hard thing at a young age to realize, like, wait, I thought this was going to be my little sister.
Mm-hmm.
And then, she had to go somewhere else. And it's sad. I don't know how you can process that at that moment.
I don't think that you can, because we don't have the vocabulary for that.
No, at that age, no.
No. So it's like you love and appreciate the fact that they're going to be with their family, because that's something that, I've talked to my older brother about this, that you've always wanted. I love my moms and I love my family. Finding people who you are related to by blood, who you look like, is a different kind of need. And so there's so many mixed emotions that are going through your mind when that happens, because it's like, she's going to get, like, her family wants her.
Yeah.
She's going to get to be with them. But then at the same time, you're losing someone who you're so deeply connected with. And then on top of that, how is this affecting everybody else? How is this going to affect the family dynamic now? Because she was with us for so long, or what felt like so long.
Yeah. Now, obviously, with Cassie leaving, you are the only girl, and you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
What are the pros and cons of being the only girl, especially with people coming in and out the house, and your moms are taking people in? Like, what is the hardest parts about that?
Wanting to be one of the boys. Literally, I wanted to just be included and to be accepted for myself. And like my older cousin stayed with us for a couple times. And yeah, she was a girl, but there's also like a 14-year age gap. So that's like
different.
That's what I'm saying. It's just yeah. So it's like
You're my girl. I love it. You get my type of.
I do. Just, but it's different because it's like they would be doing all these things and whatnot, and like I love action and adventure and going outside and doing all of that kind of stuff, like riding bikes and building forts. Honey, I can. You want a fort inside, outside? I got you.
I'll call you.
Okay, just get the sheets.
Gotcha.
But they would go and do things or just be hanging out together. And because I'm the girl, because I'm more sensitive, because just there was a desperation to want to be included that was felt. And because of that, I feel like it kind of like turned them off, or like they would kind of include me, but I never felt like I was like actually with them. And that may have been psychological too, because it's like, damn, these are a bunch of guys and they're rowdy and doing all of this crazy shit, and I can do crazy shit too, but it's not me.
Right.
So it just felt like I felt very out of place a lot of the places where I went. Yeah.
Give me an example. Like, what's one place you really felt like out of place?
School. Yeah. Surprisingly. There's times where I did feel like I was included and it was great. But there was also a lot of times where being aware of how I looked and how I acted, and the fact that I had two moms. I had friends who had two moms, a couple, but most of the people in school either had one parent or they had a mom and a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very out of place. Went to a predominantly like African American or like person of color, but predominantly African American school. And because of this, like I didn't know what I was at the time. I got Ancestry done in like 2019.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a birthday present from my parents. So like everyone's telling me what I am and guessing, but that doesn't mean I can check off the box. That doesn't mean I fit fully in the box that they're in, because I look different and because I was raised different anyway, because both my moms are old white lesbians. So that's a completely different kind of culture. And so because of that, like trying to figure out what I was and where I'm supposed to fit in and who I'm supposed to be, it didn't feel like I really like actually fit in anywhere except for when I was dancing or when I was acting, because I got to express myself and just emote. I didn't have to be anything for anyone except for maybe a character. But that also meant that I didn't need to be myself. And I didn't know who I was, so I could just be that. I
did that. See, I got into theater. And I felt like as a young age, I started to realize like who I was and stuff like that. But I love the arts, and I love the art of being somebody else, because I felt like I didn't want to be me, right?
Hello. You just said the phrase.
No, I didn't. And I've always said to myself like, wow, like I'm in a Jungle Book play. And I'm like, wow, I could be King Louis. I could be a king for a day. Cool. Or if I'm in The Wiz, I could be extra number 1 or Tree Branch or 2 or whatever.
Or a Poppy.
I'll pop, lock it, drop it if I had to. You know what I'm saying? But like, I just enjoyed like productions, especially growing up, because we were also in Power together.
Yes, we were.
That's how.
Shout out to Onyx Keisha.
Love you.
Thank you.
And Jules and all you guys. Seriously, like I love you guys so much. And Glenn, what's up, Glenn? There's so many people. Holly,
and
oh my
Nick.
goodness, so many. Damn, Ty.
And Rolanda.
Yes, oh my goodness. We have to run it back
There's
with them.
a list.
Yes, we gotta run, because we did this for years, by the way, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I love like the productions that we put on. But again, like I said, like to be somebody else.
Yeah.
And I felt that. Like if I'm in this character, like I ain't gotta be Ivory for a day. What do I sign up at?
Mm-hmm. That's a whole psychological, like it's wild because that's really a psychological twist within the self. Like,
So my question for you though is
Yeah.
like, what was, besides not knowing who you are, identity and stuff like that, what was one of the things that you were really trying to escape about yourself, especially as we're now entering the teenage years?
you said the phrase pretty much, but like I did not like myself.
Why for you?
How much time you got?
A lot. What's up, girl? I got time for you.
And this is not me glorifying this. This is me saying this because I'm in such a different place now that I can look back and be like, you were such a beautiful person. The fact that you didn't like yourself, it's you could have done so much more if you would have taken the time to genuinely get to know yourself and not tried to be what everyone else wanted you to be or fit into anyone else's box. I didn't like my hair because I didn't understand my hair.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how to do it. My parents didn't know how to do it. And so it was deemed as hard and a trouble and all of this other stuff. And now that I'm grown and I don't know how to do my hair, it's like, oh, my hair is magnificent. It's beautiful. It's literally a lion's mane. Like, the fuck?
Ew.
Excuse me. I didn't like my skin or my skin color. And like, I didn't like the fact that I was so much like lighter than my peers, but also I had friends who were like white or like super light skinned, and I didn't match them either. It was like everyone thought that I was Latino and whatnot, and I'm like, that does, like, something in me knew that didn't fit.
I thought you were Latino. I'm gonna hold you.
People still come up to me and start speaking Spanish. Like I can understand more Spanish than I can speak, but it's still like knowing where you fit, but also being so attached to that label. And labeling yourself as something specific. Like I'm very much like doing my best not to do that anymore, and to just understand that like being a person of color and being someone who is white and does have those privileges. I have pretty privilege. I do have light skin privilege, but people don't, even during sugar cookie season, like the winter seasons when I'm like super light, people look at me regardless of what my hair looks like, regardless of if I'm wearing it. They can tell. They just don't know if they can get away with certain things or not. So that, especially in high school, like I went to a predominantly like wealthy school. I was on a scholarship. I had my small group of weirdos, but also like for the most part did not feel like I fit in or could keep up because I was experiencing I was diagnosed with severe anxiety and depression when I was 11.
Was it like you went to therapy at that time too?
I went to therapy. I was on medication. But
what was the what was the breaking point for you to get that help?
My mom's a nurse, and they could see that I was having a lot of trouble, and so that was the first avenue that they were going down.
Okay.
The therapy was okay, but I was already not very trusting of a lot of people anyway. And so I started going to therapy, and it was okay. But the things that really needed to be talked about, I didn't trust my therapist enough to tell her about. And so there was a lot of like emotional abuse, sexual abuse throughout different areas of my life that a couple of my friends knew about, but distanced themselves from me because they didn't know how to handle that.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them for that now because they were kids. How the fuck do I expect my friends to know how to deal with that when we're the same age and I don't know how to deal with it?
But you didn't, and that's the thing, because I felt like I would trauma dump sometimes too on certain people.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's like that's the outlet that you feel like I need help, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. But it's like sometimes like your friends don't know what to do about that. And so there's times where it's like, oh my God, is this going to be the same thing over and over and over again?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Right.
And I get that too. I have had people like that too, where it's like, oh my goodness, we gotta talk about your sexuality every damn day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, because I was struggling.
Mm-hmm.
But I can imagine like with all the things that you were dealing with at that time, at that age, just like And you can't trust your therapist too. That's the thing, because it took me a long,
Finding the right
long
therapist
time.
is something different. So
We
I
have-
can imagine for you.
Girl, we've been through some different therapies and therapists in my life, but I was saying it's like, especially when I was, it's so funny, I never told nobody this, but I was, I think, 13 when we did a quick trial run, because I was getting very severely bullied, and I just kept saying to myself, like, at this point, like, I don't want to live. And I've had multiple moments in my life of just not wanting to be here. But when I was 13, it's like, I'm like getting bullied. People, like, I felt like, why are people being so mean to me, right? And I remember talking to my therapist, and I'm like, when you're saying it, at 13, I can't compute my emotions that way, honestly. And then when we're talking about it, that's when I realized, like, oh, this is not for me. Until I got, like, in my mid-20s, I was able to finally realize that, you know?
Got you. Yeah, processing emotions is crazy. So, like, at least you were able to, like, get to the point where you could, like, talk about it, you know? Because then you were able to discover, like, maybe this isn't for me right now, but you're here. That's one of the things I want to point out. You're here. Because, like, as I've also experienced the not wanting to be here right now.
But back to you, though. I want to say, like, so when you were in therapy at that time on medication, like, how was that, like, especially at a young age? I can't imagine taking medications like that, especially in your adolescence, going to your teenage years. Like, how did that affect your emotions? Did it kind of still feel? Did it kind of repress your, like, your personality or something? Like, I'm curious.
It repressed my personality in certain ways, but I think that it also just made me feel more chaotic and like I couldn't control myself, because I would have, like, panic attacks to the point where my body would convulse and, like, I couldn't control my breathing. And I, like, couldn't control my thoughts. I would be crying and just, like, I wasn't a screamer, but it was very much like, I need to be alone under the covers, huddled up like a baby, and go to sleep. And so, like, my rescue medication that they had for me, which was used often, would knock me out. Yeah. And so that's why I stopped taking medication, like, halfway through high school and started self-medicating, because it was like, this doesn't feel like it's helping. It doesn't make me feel good. And I feel like I'm missing my life.
What were you self-medicating?
Marijuana.
At what age?
God, I started doing that when I was like 15.
So you started gardening at 15.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And because here's the thing, I have such a weird relationship with marijuana now. I felt like I didn't really get more, like, you know, when you go out, like, when you're a teenager, like 15, 16, 17, like, you smoke a little bit, whatever, that was cool. But I didn't really get into, for me, marijuana until I was about, it's like 19, 20, mainly 20, I'll say.
I love that for your brain.
Right. I did too.
I love that for your brain.
But I became a really big pothead when I was 20, because I moved to Orange with my roommate. At that time, I was in Montclair State. And I remember it just being like every day, like, I'm smoking. And it was such a, like, an end of a day relaxation for me, right? Yeah. And then when I moved to California, girl, that's when before weed was legal out here. When I say I lived down the block from a dispensary, I don't know what was in them strands, but, like, I would wake up, I would smoke, I would shower, come back after work, I would be able to, like, smoke and just, like, relax. And I wasn't paranoid. And at the end of the night, I smoke and I relax. I had that for a good 2 years. Now I'm paranoid as hell. I don't smoke weed. I can't smoke weed. I get paranoid.
Do you think it could also be the culture and, like, not to get woo-woo, but, like, the vibration of the area and, like, the thought process surrounding marijuana?
Maybe.
Because it feels like a lot more people were smoking, like, probably back when you were there, smoking and functional.
I was very functional. And that's why I say I used to be like, whatever. I remember I had a friend out there when we were smoking, I'm telling you, it was like our smokers group. Like, how the hell y'all smoking? Don't get paranoid. Like, no, it's chill. Like, it's not like for me, it didn't really feel like it was a big deal. But now, if I smoke now, it's like, I'm so paranoid. I feel like I'm the worst person in the world. My past or whatever, or traumas come at me saying, like, oh, like, you think you're worthless, or you're stupid. You think you're going to amount to this? Oh, like, it gets very, like, negative for me now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I had a couple of moments where like, I had a friend, if I spoke with a friend, like, it's chill, whatever, not here and there, very little. But I just choose not to really, like, smoke like that, honestly.
Got you. Yeah, same here.
But back to you, though. I want to say, like, so, like, when you start at 15, like, when you're self-medicating, like, how is that going for you?
It was going very poorly. I got put in situations that no one should be put in. let alone when you're that age, especially because you're not conscious anyway in your daily life, which is probably, for me, at least one of the reasons why I was smoking, because like I'm conscious of who I am now.
Yes.
I was not conscious of who I was back then. And so I was making choices and decisions that did not benefit me, that were not loving towards me, let alone most of the people who I surrounded myself with.
So what was that one moment you realized like, oh, like this is getting chaotic?
So I would say there's two. The first one was when I was 17, smoked with someone who I thought was a friend, got completely knocked out. He wound up raping me. And then after that, I tried to end myself. And before I could actually fully go through with it, something literally download. You're not supposed to die right now. I knew I wasn't supposed to die, period. And so I was in the bathroom and I called my mom, and they, took me to an inpatient center, and I was there for like 2 or 3 weeks. And so after that, things got a little bit better, but I still wasn't receiving like the psychological help that I needed. And most people didn't know even half the stuff that I had been through, so I couldn't process it. And so when I would say maybe like, how long have I had my car? 5 years. Okay. So when I was about 26, that was like another train wreck period of time, except it was smoking and drinking.
Oh, you got the best of both worlds at that point.
Oh, I was cross-faded like a motherfucker. And it was with my ex, and I didn't have the self-authority. I didn't know how to advocate for myself. Still 26. And I was getting into being myself and liking myself more, but there was parts of me that were still making decisions as that other person. And so I allowed boundaries to be crossed. This ex wound up sexually assaulting me, and then that was when I was severely under the influence as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was very much like, you need to stop. Because you're allowing things into your life that have no business being there. And it's because you're not controlling your mind. You're allowing other things and other people to control your mind. So after that, I definitely got into the self-help. I got into speaking to, because I didn't really trust therapists because I had a bad experience with therapists when I was younger. She listened to my parents more than she listened to me. Leave it there.
I'll leave it there.
Yeah. And so I was going to friends and speaking with them, but like in a manner that was respectful of their time.
Mm-hmm.
But I also knew that these were people that had been through things, who had been to therapy, who I could trust with this information, and who I asked, can we talk about this? Are you open to talking about this? And now I have people in my life who are in therapy, have been to therapy, where they come to me for things because they know that I have different insights because of the books that I've read and because of the things that I've been through. The people that I speak to, I feel like therapists are great, but also if you speak to therapists that aren't your therapists, or even just watch podcasts and videos, read books, whatever you can take in, like, you will learn a lot about yourself and your life as long as you do the work of reflection. And I've done a lot of that. And I can happily say that I'm not the same person that I was 5 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 3 years ago. But I love every single version that I've been through, because I wouldn't be me without them. And I also wouldn't be able to connect with and support the people, whether it's a conversation one day randomly or a friendship that is developing, and we find out that we've been through something similar. And now we can actually connect and support each other in a healthy way.
Yes, in a healthy way. But first I want to say I'm sorry about those 2 times. I'm sorry about that. But what I wanted to say is that, like, to bounce back, like at 17, to be sexually assaulted, number one, it's like not okay, especially as a child. Number one. But I always like what's so hard for me, what I feel bad, what I really, I'm gonna say I feel bad for, if I'm honest, it's like when it happens again.
Yeah.
Like that really takes a toll where it's like, this happened the first time. All right, we're gonna do our best not to let that happen again. But again, like you said, you were playing with fire in a sense. You had alcohol and weed, but like for that to happen again, I can't imagine like mentally where your thoughts are. But again, like you just summed up everything you said already. It is a part of your journey. It is a part of it. And that's the thing is like, we're so young. You're 30, which you just turned 30, by the way. Happy belated.
I just turned 31.
Sorry,
sweetheart.
31. Sorry.
No, it's okay. You're good. Most people think that I'm like 27, 28. So
I would thought you were my age, honestly. I'm 29. I thought you were my age. But
here we go.
listen, you got good skin, stop playing.
Come on.
Get it to it, yeah. But no, but I just, like, that's hard. Like, that's really like those type of moments when I look at people like that. Like, it is a part of your journey, and yet we have so much more to go, and a lot more things are gonna hit us. But it is a part of your journey, and I feel like wherever you think if you handled it well or not, look at you here now.
That part. I don't think I handle it well in the moment because that's
the moment.
That's the moment, but also that's like the tip of the iceberg. That's not even nearly the whole story, but it's just the fact of like, I think that giving ourselves grace when we look back on those times is so important.
So what does healing look like for you now? Healing. Because a lot of times when I say this, people be telling me like when I talk about my journey or my things more in depth, they're like, "Oh, you so healed." No, healing.
Yes,
it's every single day. Every day I'm not like this. Trust me. There's days where I am just under the covers and just wishing like, why am I here? What is going on? I hate myself. But what does healing look like for you right now, though? I'm curious.
Whenever I have thoughts that I feel like don't align with who I truly am, doing my best to like read specific books like Cleo Wade. I'm gonna plug her in because do I know her? No, but her work is phenomenal in terms of like mental health. She definitely helped me every single morning, like reading positive things that allow me to reframe my thoughts so that I know that I can be here. Writing affirmations every day, writing gratitude every day, stretching. If I know that I need to get outside, that's one of the things that I made adamant within the last 4 years. If I feel like I'm contained and like everything is kind of closing in on me, I will go outside in the middle of the day while I'm at work, regardless of what job it is. If I need to be by a tree, if I need to be in nature, one of the things that I do now to like give myself a sense of release and relief and allow myself to be fully present is I'll eat lunch on the grass, like shoes off, right in my lap, and that's like half an hour, 45 minutes, where I just get to focus on my food, be present, take in the nature, listen to the birds, feel the wind on my skin, the dirt and the grass under my feet. Being with nature is something that has healed me so much because we're not separate from nature. We are one. We just look different. We are plants. There's a reason why during the wintertime, especially over here in the in New Jersey and New England area, when there's cloud coverage for too long, people get depressed. Seasonal depression is a thing because when the sun comes out, we become just these absolutely beautiful, thriving creatures. We're plants. We're complicated plants. Complicated plants.
Okay, photosynthesis.
Right. That's why we need so much water.
No, yeah. You need sunlight, soil, and water.
Yes.
To grow.
Yes. And community.
You do.
Yeah. And so putting myself in those places, if I know I feel like I need to dance, I will dance in my room. I will go to a dance class. I will put on some music and dance in the office for 5 minutes. Like whatever the situation is, if I feel like I need to be creative, like just finding different ways of feeding and nurturing my soul. If I feel like I need to get something out, writing a poem, singing a song, like just literally just shaking my entire body to get it out.
So I said that you are An actress, movement artist, model, and creative director.
Yes.
How did you get into all of that?
So actress and movement artist, I've been moving my entire life. Like I said, I grew up with music in the household, and so we would always dance in the kitchen and whatnot. There was, I've been singing my entire life too. My parents used to read us books and sing us to sleep. So there was, there's a song from Three Men and the Baby, and they would harmonize to it. And when I was old enough, I would learn it. And then they would do this jig and start dancing. So like even going to sleep, we would be like dancing in the bed and like doing random things and just like having fun and shit. And it's like you're amping your child up before you're going to sleep, but also like you're letting them get the energy out that they need in a really fun and creative way.
Yeah.
So that's like where that started from. I started acting when I was in like kindergarten or first grade. Actually, my mom told this story yesterday when I went to go and visit her because she's in rehab right now. Physical therapy rehab. Just for anyone who knows. Yeah. She's old. She fell. She's doing well. So when I was in first grade, I played an Italian prince. Yeah. Because so my parents, so
what's the play called?
I think it was like The Princess and the Pea or something like that. And
Okay.
I've barely any memory of this, but I do remember my parents cut my hair like in a bowl cut, and so everyone thought I was a boy up until I was in like third grade.
No.
I'm dead ass.
They gave you that coconut head?
They gave me the coconut head cut.
Hey, they do dirty on that one.
Yeah. So like that was a whole thing. Like when I was little, everyone would call me a little boy and whatnot. But I embraced it because I put on this beautiful silk looking giant billowy shirt for this production.
Right.
And I went out and I did an Italian accent as best that I could in first grade, was on stage and just did that. And that was one of my first like tastes of acting. And then with Empower, we would be doing a show at least once a year. Yeah. So I've done Annie with them 3 times, and that was in middle school. We did Once on This Island, The Wiz multiple times. Just so many wonderful productions. Aladdin, because there was also the summer camp that I assisted with them with. So like dancing and acting, because you got to dance in all of this too, has always been part of my life. Just whether it was inside the house or outside the house. And it was like the best way for me to express. And so as an adult now, that's, yes, has become part of my identity, but I've noticed that it's not just part of my identity. It's a way for me to fully feel connected. Because when you dance and when you have to act and do all these movements, you're using so many different parts of your brain. And this is scientifically proven that like when you dance, you feel better because you're connecting the different synapses that don't usually connect. You're understanding like how you're expressing your emotions. How is this specific body part going to move if you're doing choreography? What is the story that you're trying to tell if it's more of a narrative dance rather than like strictly interpretive? For the characters that you have to play if you're acting, whether it's on stage or on screen, like creating the backstory for that, understanding the story completely, not just your character story, but the story as a whole, bringing those together and understanding the nuances of what other people's characters, how they feel about yours, which isn't as important, but it's also a fact of, okay, this is why that person is reacting that way to me. How does that make my character feel? So like there's so many different parts of my brain that have been, and my spirit that have been connected due to becoming other characters and expressing myself through movement artistry. And it's just grown from there. Like you just say yes to things that your spirit gets excited about.
Yeah.
And then after that, life takes you and you meet amazing people, and those other people bring in new opportunities, and you do things that you never thought was a thing, let alone that you could possibly do. So that's where the modeling comes in. I've created my own photo shoots, and just like it was a way for me to be creative with friends who are photographers. So like I'll create a concept or they'll bring a concept to me and I'll just like do my thing and blow it the fuck up. And we'll have fun on set, just me and them, whether it's like in a studio or in a park or in like just some random place. And it's a really wonderful way to tap into your creative like juices with other people, because I feel like that's necessary too. Figure modeling, I went to college briefly with
what college you went to?
I went to UCC.
Okay.
That was one of them. Anxiety again was like a significant thing. So like I'm not a college graduate, but also in the arts.
I'm not either. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
like
okay.
there's
And that's so
at
it's
this
so funny
point-
because, Mom, I know you don't like this, but it's like it's one of those things where it's all the time where it's like, when are you gonna finish your degree and stuff like that? And I always said to myself, like, I honestly would like to, because there's certain fields like maybe like therapy I would like to get into and stuff like that. Never say never, right? But I
Yeah.
also realize like I don't need that from myself.
Mhm.
I don't. I get it like in the world of like professionalism and certain jobs and stuff like that. You need that, but
Yeah.
it's like, no, I have a lot of experience. I'm very well equipped. I'm on time. I know exactly what to do. If you give me that time or chance for it, I promise you I'll deliver it, but 1,000 times more.
Boop.
So
There you go. It's the drive. It's the effort.
I have I drive. Trust me, I have that drive,
Mm.
and I'm like, for me, it's like, oh, what time? People always say to me like, oh, like I hate being late to places, so it's like they send me here by 9:30.
You're one of
I'm here
those.
by 9. That's on time
Yeah.
for me. That's always been me.
Yep. Because then you also have that time beforehand to prepare yourself for when everybody comes.
Mm-hmm.
So
We continue,
yeah, here and I hear you because we're here.
girl.
Yeah. Hello.
It's me. Okay. You're my girl, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes. And I needed that laugh. But yeah, so like the figure modeling, I kept in contact with a friend from college who I followed on, what was it? It was either Instagram or Facebook.
Mhm.
And I saw her posting pictures of people drawing her. And I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah.
What is this? She was like, oh, I do figure modeling on the side. It's like, like something cool. I was like, oh, okay. How did you get into that? She was like, someone just asked me to do it. And I was like, okay. So that conversation started. Then one day she knew I was interested. So she said, I can't make this gig. Would you be okay with filling in for me? I
Mhm.
was like, okay. I had already been doing my own photo shoots by then. I had already been dancing professionally and like mainly dancing, but not getting as heavily into acting anymore. I like took a break from that.
Mhm.
So she knew I could move and like could hold my own and could do whatever needed to be done. This is all naked, by the way. The modeling is naked.
Was it with the paint?
That was a photo shoot.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was one of my photo shoots. Honestly, it was my favorite when I did it for my birthday. Shout out to Fresco. You're an amazing photographer. I love you. You made the best possible environment for that because I was only wearing pasties and a thong. And
Looking good.
he was, thank you. But it's important to have a photographer when you're doing something like that.
Be
That
safe.
you're safe, comfortable. We met multiple times before. Like we knew each other beforehand anyway because of Deandra. And we came together because I was like, I got the vision and then I knew who the photographer was supposed to be. And so when we met, it was just like an unfolding of the ideas of how to bring it to life. So that was the most amazing birthday shoot I've done.
Yes.
But yeah, so I went, this was the Morristown Art Society, something along those lines.
Mhm.
And I went and I modeled for them and it was completely different. And it was incredibly liberating because I got to be naked after, and this is why I'm happy we talked about what we did before, like in the earlier parts. After everything that had happened in my life,
Mhm.
I not only got to be safe and secure with my body, in my body, how it looked, people were not seeing me as an object or something to be, touched or something that they needed to get.
Yes.
They were seeing me as a muse. They were seeing me as art. They were seeing me from their own perspective. They were studying me. And I was helping people with their art, whether it was honing their craft
Mhm.
or just giving them a chance to do their hobby, and fulfill themselves and feel so completely safe while being naked.
Ooh, that's a revelation.
Right. And being able to express and do twists and turns. And I call myself a dynamic model because a lot of models will be like very what's called contrapposto. So if you see statues, you know, and whatnot, they're like very like here and here and here and here and here. And it's very like contained and like slight turns. For me, I create shapes with my body. You will see different twists. I will go do back bends. I do yoga poses. I will stand on one leg and do like a releve. Like I do things so that they can open up their creativity and see that the body can do amazing things, and also so that they can experience something that they haven't before. Yeah. And it's fun.
It sounds fun.
So fun.
I want to shadow that. If you ever had a chance, I actually would like to shadow that if you ever do it.
I would say that, literally Thursday was one of the last ones that Newark's, thank you. So one of the places that I model for is Newark, like the Newark Rutgers University.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so they have a collaboration that they did this year called Drawing Circle with Express Newark. And Thursdays, the class would be open to the public. It's not nude, but we wear essentially like gym clothes.
Okay.
And so you can see like the entire form. And people just come, they bring their utensils or there's utensils there, and they just draw for 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. So when the new semester starts up, I'll let you know. But also after this, I can tell you like other studios, because I wouldn't say that it's something that you come and shadow. If you do come to that space, especially if it's nude, you need to like be there and be present. Otherwise, it's very awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I could paint, or I could be the model too. Stop playing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Absolutely. You could do it. Mm-hmm.
I will do it.
Yeah. So if you're serious, let me know, because male models are more of a commodity.
You know what it is though? It's because what you just said earlier, right? I have such a love and hate relationship with my body. So for me, it's like I had a fast metabolism growing up until I was about 19.
Heard.
Then, you know what I'm saying? But like obviously like with life, when life throws you curveballs, I had such a eating problem, an alcohol problem, and my body has its ebbs and flows, you know? And there's times where I look at like my peers like near me and I'm like, damn, like I wish like I can look like that. Or even when I go to the gym, I'm still going to the gym. Results, it takes time. I lost some weight, right? But it still takes time. But I've learned to, again, like all the things I've been through in my life, I've learned to also love my body a little bit more now. Because before I used to like not want to take my shirt off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Shit, belly and all, I'm here for it.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate it and I love it, you know? And there's like, again, this moment of like, oh, I don't know, but I'm not going to tuck in no more. I love who I am. I love what I offer from myself and my body. And I would love to be a model. Coming soon.
Yes.
Seriously, I would though. I would.
Okay. No, I got you. Like I'll give you the context and whatnot. Just I would definitely say practice at home, because number one thing,
Practice like
stretch. So like whatever way is comfortable for you to pose, yeah, just get creative with yourself. Then at the same time, set a timer.
Okay.
Because it works in periods. You're not just shift. It's 1 minute, 1 minute. 1 minute. That goes for 10 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes. Then you're doing 2 5-minute poses. So you're holding that pose for 5 minutes.
Okay.
You cannot move.
Yeah. Essentially, you can't.
Yeah. And then it goes to 10 minutes, and then it goes to 20s. And sometimes you're in a 20-minute pose for 3 hours with 5-minute breaks in between. Yeah. So,
okay.
Right. So like people, that's why I like to preface the fact that you need to practice and stretch, because you are putting your body through something it's not normally used to going through, but also stillness. You will be so still within. I meditate. People are like, how do you stay so, like, been called a statue before. How do you stay so still? Meditate. There's an inner stillness that happens when you literally cannot move and you just accept it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Okay. I'm excited for you.
I'm gonna do some research. But I also want to know what projects are you currently working on now?
So, currently, let me take a sip of this.
Sip the tea.
That's so Okay. So current project right now, there is a 10-10 showcase. It's in year number 2.
Okay.
That's going to be in October, so 10-10. I saw it last year. It's 10 choreographers doing 10-minute dance pieces. Each one, there's like color themes. So each choreographer this year has a different color. I am not a choreographer this time because I wanted to be a part of a specific person's piece. So I didn't reach out to the person who's doing it because I was like, let me just get up in her piece because I know that she's phenomenal and I really want to do her choreography. Sometimes you really have to like make that decision. So we haven't started rehearsals yet, but that's something that I'm preparing for. May take on an extra role in terms of that because they're going to up the scale of the production. So we'll see where that goes. And then also, I am in the early stages of developing a dance film. Yeah. So it's narrative in the traditional sense, but at the same time, it tells a story through dance as well. Yeah.
Incubation.
Yes. Incubation period. Yeah. It's I love the people that I'm working with. We already did the proof of concept for an event that happened in October. So I knew I wanted it to be bigger. And every time I would like start to think about something, a friend of mine who is now the DP for the project was like, why don't you make it into a movie? So it's now gonna be a film.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
I'm here for it too. I'm scared as shit, but I'm here for it too. We're doing new things.
You're supposed to be scared though.
I know.
I feel like if we do things like safe and stuff like that, it's boring.
Exactly.
I ain't got time for that.
So yeah, this is definitely the year of intention and intentional stretching. And, you know, just putting yourself in the place that you never thought that you would be, but that you know you're supposed to be.
Is that what would you use? I'm sorry. Is that what would you describe to be your era right now? And like exactly like what is your era?
I would say this era is one of liberation. Yeah. Looking directly at the camera while saying that, liberation. Because it's not being liberated from other people, it's liberating myself from the thoughts and opinions of others. Because we learn so many things throughout life. And it's great. There's a lot of really necessary stuff, but we also have to understand what resonates with us and what doesn't. So I'm unlearning a lot of things. And that for me is an act of liberation because doing pieces like this film is liberating me from the box that I thought I had to be in.
Okay.
Of just being an actress or just being a dancer. Like, no, you can be a choreographer, you can be a creative director, you can do literally whatever you want. What excites you? Allow that to guide you. Don't just put yourself in a box because everyone says, you're a dancer. I know you by your hair. But when too many people were saying that, I cut it all off. Twice. Like, yeah. No, I'm done with labels. So whatever excites me, whatever I feel called to do, I'm going to do it and going to do it with the best of my ability. And I'm now in a comfortable position where if I need assistance, if I need support, I'm going to reach out for that shit.
That part.
Because how are we supposed to be in community if we can't support each other? There are things I can offer. There are things that they can offer. We're like, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
To connect.
People play like a selfish game all the time too. So it's just like, or just like the art of not speaking up too.
The art of not speaking up. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Hello.
Because growth really comes to like when you speak up and feel certain things. Like I said, like more recently, like I feel like I got to speak up more. And even if people I love, it might be uncomfortable. I realize like I got to now like stand 10 toes on how I feel. Because I don't want to ever feel like I'm saying things or agreeing with things maybe I might not be okay with. But again, everyone's different and stuff like that. But I feel like if I'm a real person, I want to be able to at least, if you're asking for my opinion, I'll say, I'm always going to be honest, but it's always coming out of love. Never anger, hatred, or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And that's beautiful. People like you are necessary.
Girl, it's been a battlefield. I'll tell you that. But all right, before we go, I have 3 more questions I want to ask you, okay?
Okay.
So first one is, excuse me.
Coffee, bless you.
Thank you, girl.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the first one is, what would you say to your younger self?
It's safe to be you. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Part of me wanted to say more, and then my brain just like, no, it's safe to be you.
It is safe to be you.
Yeah.
My next one is, what do you hope people take away from your story?
This goes back to actually what you just said. Being open and speaking up and speaking your truth, and especially like how you feel, expressing yourself will make sure that you are surrounded by people who can actually support you and who you can support. It will make you grow as a person, and it will put you in rooms that you are supposed to be in, whether you knew that room existed or not.
Hmm. And then my last one is, what chapter are you currently writing for yourself?
I like this question. Thank you. Loving evolution. It's a loving evolution for myself, for everyone in my life. I'm doing things that I never thought that I would do before, whether it's artistically, in my family. I'm seeing my entire family different. And that's just been a growing thing, but also because of where my parents are at. And, always being aware of the reality of them, of my brothers, of our relationships, and understanding that I was put in this position for a reason, and like allowing myself to open up my power and really utilize it so that I can be that person, that woman that I know who can truly show up and support them in the way that they need. And by then allowing them to do the same for me. It can feel really alone when you feel like no one understands you. You're by yourself. You have to fit into everyone else's box. But if you accept yourself and you accept everyone else the best that you can, because it's not easy and it's not always going to be 100%. It's not like, I accept you. Check. Okay, cool. Button press. Like, no, the button gets unpressed many times. But just allowing and accepting. Like, I know I keep saying that, but it's just, that's the basis of it. Because otherwise, how are you supposed to be able to be open with yourself and then these other people? How are you supposed to tell them the full truth and not just a half truth?
Right. But it starts with the root. That's why. Because sometimes
Exactly.
people don't want to always like peel back those layers. And that's like where, again, growth really begins.
Yeah.
Especially because, again, no one wants to always be honest with themselves or what role they played or anything like that. But it's, listen, we have to forgive ourselves.
Yeah.
And we look at these moments in the journey that we're on and realize that we're going to be okay, but we have to take on the ride,
Get on fucking El Toro and ride the roller coaster.
Not El Toro, but that's a crazy ride. Shit, I was, okay. Hey.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say, though, like, with all of that being said, like, just everything you said, like, I want to thank you so much for coming on Getting Older. I want to say, I know it's not easy to, again, say your truth. Your truth matters. I know there's going to be one person that watches this interview, not even interview, this conversation and say, wow, I see myself there. And I'm going to work on it and have the tools for myself to be where I have to be. Because, baby, you're a light, you're a flower, and you're everything more. And Phoenix, I thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
My girl.
homie.
You know. Now, Phoenix, real quick, can you please tell this camera exactly what you got going on right now, coming up? You give your social media handles and all that jazz, all right?
All right. So currently we have the 1010 showcase that's going to be in October. So look out for that. You can find that at 1010 showcase on Instagram. And then also you can just find me, the Lady Phoenix 95 on Instagram, or Jessica Phoenix Leonard on Facebook. As of right now, that's pretty much it. We don't have anything out about the film. So
Coming soon.
it's coming soon, and we're giving it the time that it needs to be the best that it can be.
Exactly. So again, it's gonna come soon. Ew. All right, guys. Thank you guys again so much for watching the Get On Podcast. Please subscribe, like, comment, share. We are on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Guys, please again, thank you so much for watching and listening and sharing. I love this podcast. I love the people that comes on this podcast. And thank you again so much for, again, having these conversations, making my dreams come true in mental health space. I'm getting emotional because it's been a journey, man. But thank you guys again, all right? I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.